You know the fear of making mistakes? Well, sometimes it can be so great that it literally controls us and prevents us from trying new things or applying ourselves. This is no different with learning a new language, specifically if you're taking language classes or if you're trying to improve your speaking skills in your second language. Now, there are a ton of different factors that can contribute to making learning a language difficult, but one that you might not have realized that may be tripping you up has everything to do with something called your affective filter. So watch until the end to learn ways that you can overcome this. But first, what even is an affective filter? What's up guys, my name is Kristen, and if you're new, welcome to Koala Hugs. I make videos so that we can together learn English, French, as well as learn some language tips along the way. So if that interests you, be sure to hit the notification bell and the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. So what is an affective filter? And no, it has nothing to do with lighting or good filters that you can use to improve your photos on Instagram. Now, there's a well-known and very respected theorist in the linguistics field named Stephen Krashen. And he has several theories and hypothesi on language acquisition, which means the way we acquire, the way we learn languages. This stuff also relates to TEFL, which stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language, which happens to be the stuff that I went to school for. He created the Affective Filter Hypothesis. The word affective here meaning things that have to do with emotions and is an invisible psychological filter that can either facilitate or hinder language production in a second language. To put it plainly, we all have some emotional things that can either help us learn a second language or they can get in the way and block or prevent us cognitively from learning or making progress. As part of his hypothesis, Krashen explains that people can have either a high or low affective filter, and it both influences and is influenced by that emotional something. And these are your self-confidence, your motivation, and your levels of anxiety or stress. So imagine this. You are in Spanish class, and not only do you have to read Don Quixote out loud, but your teacher is making you read it at the front of the class in front of everybody. As you start to go up there, you feel your heart begin to pump faster and your palms are getting sweaty. And if you're me, the book is trembling in your hands because you're so nervous that now the words are starting to blur and it's harder to read. And all you can focus on, all you're thinking is, please don't let me mess up. Please don't let me make a fool out of myself in front of everybody. Luckily, you don't. But as you finish and you begin to make your way back to your desk thinking you're safe, your teacher calls you out in front of everybody and asks you a question about the passage you just read. And that is when you realize you have no idea what you just read. Let me know down in the comments if you have experienced anything remotely like this. But needless to say, for me, this is one of the worst things that could happen in class, even if I came prepared and I knew the subject. This is what we call having a high affective filter. You're anxious and you feel uncomfortable and you feel less secure about your abilities to function in your second language. You're so scared and nervous about messing up that your focus becomes primarily on not making mistakes, that it causes you to lose your ability to focus on learning or retaining information. To make matters worse, your motivation is no longer on processing input or gaining skills in that language, but is now purely on avoiding embarrassment and failure. So what can you do about this? So earlier I mentioned two things, a high affective filter and a low affective filter. And what you want is to have a low affective filter when learning. This means you are calm and happy. You feel safe, comfortable, and welcomed in your learning environment. You don't feel high levels of stress, and you're not afraid of making mistakes, being embarrassed, or being corrected if you do make mistakes. You feel confident in your abilities in your second language, to the point where you're actually willing to challenge yourself, take risks, and apply yourself in language learning. According to Krashen, if you're able to put yourself in this mindset, then you're going to improve your cognition, you're going to get rid of those negative emotional blocks, and this all will allow you to receive more language input, which is just a fancy way of saying you'll learn more content. So set up a positive, safe learning environment and routine for yourself, and find people that you're comfortable learning with and being corrected by. If you're taking language classes, then try to do projects and work with your friends as often as possible. Well, I assume you already do this because who doesn't want to work with their friends when given a choice? But by doing so, you'll be a lot more comfortable and therefore a lot more willing to make risks, and you're a lot more open to just learning things versus being worried about what you look like, what's going on, and things like that. Because if you say something wrong with a friend, you're probably just going to laugh about it. Now, if you're a teacher, I know there are a lot of elements and factors that you are already juggling in the classroom. But try your best to make your classrooms as warm and as welcoming as possible, so that your students know that they will be challenged, but they're also going to have fun and they won't be judged for whatever they do or say. But for everybody, making mistakes and being corrected is a part of language learning. That's a fact. But that doesn't mean that it has to be nerve-wracking or embarrassing. You have to be willing to take risks, or as Ms. Frizzle says,
take chances, make mistakes, get messy.
If you don't feel comfortable doing so, then you won't apply yourself as much, you won't learn as much, and this will slow your progress down. So with that, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, you enjoyed it, you even learned something, then please smash that like button, hit subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, leave a comment, and I'll be seeing you real soon. Bye!